This is the Cuckoo Podcast Show. I don't have to tell you, you should know. Go around and tell your host because we are going to be around the globe.
Okay, Cuckoo.
Welcome back to B98.7. This is the Cuckoo Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ari Fatayan.
And this is Benson Tippett. We have a juicy episode for you today. About
What are we talking about in today's episode?
Music.
The power of music.
The power of music on your soul.
How does music make you feel? Ask yourself that.
How does it influence you?
Does it make you feel happy?
Does it make you feel horny?
Does it make you feel horny?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, music can make you feel a wide range of emotions.
Yes, it can.
What's your favorite genre of music?
That's a difficult question.
Pick one, and then we can expand.
I've been listening to a lot of EDM right now, but I don't
EDM?
think I can pick a favorite genre,
Okay.
personally.
You know, I think I'm the same. You know, if someone asked me, you can only listen to one type of genre for the rest of my life, I think I would go with EDM because there's a lot, I mean, especially nowadays, a lot of pop music
Yeah.
has EDM in it. So, and you can listen to dubstep. Like, there's a wide range of variations. So I think EDM would be my choice if I was, gunpoint and someone said that to me.
If I was gunpoint and I could only choose one genre, it might have to be like alternative rock or something. There's so much different music in that genre.
Now you have me thinking. I love rap. So would I go rap?
Yeah, I like rap too.
Dang. Okay, but I said off the top of my head, EDM was my first choice.
All right, let's talk a little more about EDM then.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is so appealing about EDM? What makes it so interesting to listen to? What is like the thing about EDM that gets so many listeners?
I think it's because EDM is a newer type of music, so it appeals more to us and Gen Zers or millennials, whatever it may be. And so because it's like, people grew up with, they grew up with alternative rock. They grew up with, whatever it may be, like jazz music. I don't know why I said jazz.
Jazz music? You're thinking like all these old
because
geezers.
Well, I'm thinking like every generation grows up with their own music, and I think this generation.
Nothing against jazz music, by the way.
Jazz music is fantastic, but I think every generation grows up with
jazz.
their own. Go jazz. They grow up with their own type of music, and I think for our generation, it's definitely EDM. Plus, EDM like it makes you feel a lot of things. Sometimes you listen to or you watch these music videos, and you see like. I mean, a lot of people use it when they travel, like with girls. Like it makes you feel a lot of different things.
A lot of people use it when they travel up into the clouds.
Well, you watch like if you watch like YouTubers like Jay Alvarez or Casey Neistat or any of like the big like time like traveler influencers. Like a lot of people, when they go on a dope vacation, like they do this cool cutscenes. It's a lot of
little
EDM.
montages.
Yeah, I guarantee you look up a lot of Odessa. I don't know how you say it. Odessa will be a lot in a lot of those videos.
Yeah,
because it evokes it's a happiness, and most of it invokes like some sort of happiness in you.
I think one of the cool things about EDM. Okay, there's two things I want to talk about EDM. I think it's cool how many different sounds EDM has to offer. Mm-hmm. Like it's all electronical. There's just so many different sounds that it would be so difficult to get with like just an instrument in real life. And like EDM, like you said, doesn't have like a huge restriction. Like there's a lot of different genres and a lot of different sounds.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I think is so cool about EDM, I mean, there's a lot of EDM in like pop music, and there's a lot of EDM with lyrics. But I think it's cool how all these different sounds, the artist has to work harder to make a sound that makes you feel something because they're not using words.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And so I think it's really cool when a song can make you feel different emotions or put you in a different place in your head just from the sounds. I think that takes a lot of talent, and I think is really cool.
I like how you said how, if you listen to a lot of just instrumental EDM, so like if, for example, if Odessa does their own music and they don't have any singers on the track, you'll see them even take, and you can tell they take like people who sing, but they make the words into beats.
Yeah, they turn it into beats and electronicize it.
Yeah, that's super dope.
It's really cool. The song you showed me by them, La Ciudad.
La Ciudad, yeah.
The city in Spanish. That song is so cool. You listen to it,
think about that in my head.
And it like has all these sounds that like make you think of a city, and it like transitions into like different feelings that you feel in a city. Personally, for me, that's what I was like. Maybe I was biased because I saw the name of the song, but I was like, wow, this actually kind of sounds like I'm in a city, and it's put into this really cool beat that transitions really cool, and it sounds just so good. Like if you haven't listened to much EDM, go check that song out.
I would say
really
Sun
cool.
Models too. By them, Sun Models is it's same thing where it's no music, but it's like, oh
yeah,
it's super dope. Like, it's interesting how you can make music without singing. That's the power of EDM.
Well, I mean, that's how people did it. I mean,
back in the day, yeah.
Good old Beethoven. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sun Models and La Ciudad by Odeza, if you guys are interested.
And like the thing with like when I listen to Sun Models, I think about like the beach and like, you know, hot girls next to me, you know. And so that's the kind
puts you in your really happy place.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing like I'm telling like, and I guess for everybody like, you can interpret that, you can think about something different and like.
Well, the experience is going to be different for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think it's so cool that it can make you feel like these different emotions just from the sounds, which I mean is nothing new, but they do it really well, and they have so many different sounds to choose from and put together. So.
Well, I was gonna say it's crazy how nowadays like you don't need to know how to play an instrument. You can just have it in your settings. You know, like in most like programs like FL Studios or whatever program you use will have like a guitar thing, like string, this, that, a piano note, you know, so you can just do that and like you can you don't need to learn, like you just do it. It's all all electronic, which is pretty cool because you can make dope music without, you know, I mean, you have to be talented still, but you know, you don't need, it's easy to start off with.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Who's your top 3 favorite EDM artists, just off the head?
Odeza for one. That's probably my first off the top of my head. A bunch of names are coming, but like I like them, but they're not my. You know, I will go Avicii. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know these are kind of all mainstream, but I don't really like. You know, I'll go Calvin Harris. I think he has some good songs.
So you like the super popular people?
I do, yeah.
For me, I think I don't know what order I put these in.
Yeah.
Millennium's
good, yeah. They're like more dubstep, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
He's pretty popular though.
Yeah.
I really like Millennium. I really like this artist called Mr. Fiji Ouija.
Okay, I don't think
I put him on my story today.
Oh yeah, you did. I saw that.
His music's really cool. It takes like it's more soft.
Okay.
But like chill. You listen to it and it's like actually so cool and intricate how he puts these songs together. It makes you feel it's like really good music to just chill and vibe to.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Fiji Ouija, Millennium, and I really like this guy called AU5.
AU5, okay.
He has some songs that are just they must have taken years to make. Like you listen to it and you hear and you focus on like different parts of the song. You try to focus on the different instruments. You're like, wow, it is insane how he put all of this together to make such a cool beat. I mean, they're pretty songs. You should definitely check them out. I know I've showed you some of his songs before, but it's just one dude, and he is like it must take him so long to make these songs.
It's crazy how much you can do. Like you said, you're listening to this part, like, oh, there's so many different instruments and vocals and all these things, and like it's hard to like, you know, focus on one, but it's crazy how you can do that in just one song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's hard. That's a hard question to answer because I listen to my genre is really split with. I mean, I listen to Alice in Wonderland. I listen to
Marshmello.
I don't have a lot of Marshmello. I kind of want to look at my playlist, but I
like some of Marshmello's original stuff. It's pretty freaking good.
Marshmello's new stuff's catered more towards like pop nowadays, huh?
Yeah, he works with a lot of like popular artists, but a lot of his original stuff, it's just like really good beats. I don't know.
Do you like Zed?
I like Zed. Yes.
You know, I'm looking at my EDM.
I saw Zed live, actually.
You did? How was that?
It was incredible.
I saw Odessa live. That was incredible as well. We should get into that later. I was going to say, have you heard of Hippie Sabotage?
I've heard of Hippie Sabotage.
Good. Yeah, I guess I do like mainstream. Like, you know, although like when I first started to listen to Odessa. I always like, people always claim to be like an OG fan, like oh, they knew them when they were underground, and I feel like I knew them before their peak, so I knew them when they were rising. So I didn't know them like when they were underground still, but I knew when they were rising before they were big.
I remember I used to use Pandora for all my music.
Yeah.
Like in high school, before I had Spotify. And on my EDM playlists, I would always see Sun Models pop up. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that song, but that's the only one I knew. And then they became really popular, and you were talking about them a lot. And so I looked into them more, and they're freaking good, actually.
Do you know how I discovered them?
How?
When Apple... Sorry about that.
Will you turn your phone off?
Hey, that's not mine. Apple, I'm not sure if they used to do, but like in the iTunes store, used to do like a free song of the day or week. I forgot what it was. And I remember the free song of the day was "Say My Name" by them. Okay. And so I was like, okay, and I started listening. I listened to their whole album. The previous album before this one, which I forgot the name, was all instrumental, only, no singing whatsoever. And then this one with the "Say My Name," I'm blanking on the names of the album, they had more singers on it. Mm-hmm. And I just remember at that time when I first discovered them, like no one knew them, like no one like listened to them. Like a lot of our people in our high school still listen to pop and rap, but there's this one kid in my chemistry class. I remember we sit in the back, like there was like the seats.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we sit in the back, and it was just us two, and like no one could hear us. We just talk about it. I remember like after our class, we had lunch. We just go to lunch and just listen to Odessa, which is a pretty cool experience. I don't talk to him now. It's kind of crazy. I don't talk to him now, but it was cool. Like at that time where he was the only one, and then as we progressed in high school, and like, even now it's more popular and everyone listens to it.
So were they like your entryway into like listening to EDM as a whole genre?
Yes, okay. Because before that, my playlists were pop and rap. And nowadays it's still a lot of that. I listen to a lot of rap still. I would say, yeah, majority of what I listen to is probably rap and EDM. But I haven't, I've been listening to a lot of new stuff recently. I've been listening to a lot of rap recently because there's a lot of rap that comes out anyways, but not a lot of EDM, honestly.
You just haven't been listening to it, or a lot hasn't been coming out, is what you're saying?
A lot hasn't been coming out. I mean, there probably has been, but like it's more mainstream.
There is. It's just like not like these huge popular artists that you're talking about, yeah. I think.
I would say this is probably would be a cool story time episode, but going to the Odessa concert was pretty mind-blowing in terms of...
First of all, EDM's probably got to have like the coolest concerts.
Yeah, let me tell you this, because I had never... Well, prior to this, I'd only been to like rap concerts, and so, those are a little upbeat, everyone's going ham, stuff like that. This one, and I'm just assuming here, everyone, I think the term is rolling... So they were on drugs, basically. They were on Molly. I mean,
that's like pretty normal.
Yeah, and
that's what raves are.
That's a lot of raves are. Like this one, I was like, whoa, I was not expecting it. And I remember the guy who was actually for Odessa. I wish I remembered his name. Was actually a really popular artist. But when we got there, everyone's kind of like on, Molly, and they're all rolling. It's super weird. It's not. It's cool. It's more chill. Like when I was at, the prior one, I think it was at the Migos concert. Everyone was like going ham, jumping. Yep. This one, everyone's just like vibing. It's a cool light show. Cool everything.
The visuals at like EDM concerts are freaking cool.
Yeah, and they purposely do that because I think most people are high or getting.
Well, yeah, they know like we're gonna trip the hell out of these people.
Yeah, because I wasn't there. I was literally just kind of enjoying it, but I was like, damn, everyone you could tell like there's like kind of in their own world like weird dancing. Hey, let me tell you, the girls at raves, jeez. Put on some clothes. Where are your that's fatherless activities is what I say.
Fatherless activities?
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I was like, what you wearing out here? Like nothing, literally.
You ain't wearing.
What was that?
You ain't wearing.
Hey, you ain't, they were, yeah. There was like, I was like, damn, like I was like, it's like a G-string or something. It was super weird. But yeah, that was my experience. It was honestly that whole concert was that would be a cool story time, like the trip I did for that. But yeah, the visuals and just like it was just a cool experience. And then they were on stage and like it's a lot of. Let me say this: it's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
It could be, yeah. For a lot of people, it is. I mean,
if you're like freaking just blasted and
if you're on Molly,
music, you're gonna have like another level of an experience.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's crazy how most raves and EDM concerts like everyone is on Molly or anything of that sort.
And not surprising.
You go to a rap concert, it just smells like weed everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a unique experience, to say the least.
Something I think is interesting about EDM is how like related it is to video games.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the way I got introduced into EDM is, I mean, I've been playing video games for the longest time, and I would like go watch these video game montages on YouTube, and it would just have EDM music in the background, and I was like, this is actually really good. And so a lot of the EDM that like I first started listening to was like, it had a lot less vocals. And it was just like more about like the beat dropping and like going hard. But do you want to talk more about like how it's so connected to gaming?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I know what you're talking about. I'm not like, too familiar. You can go with it.
Like, maybe probably because it's more connected to like PC gaming.
Yeah, and well, it's pretty cool because I do know what you're talking about. Like I've seen montages and like really any montage, like any cool, like will have like dubstep or EDM behind it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's becoming more popular now.
It's crazy. I was gonna say that nowadays, you know, as compared to when we first started listening, a lot of EDM has a lot of vocals now. There's gonna be someone
because it's
on
becoming more like pop.
Centered. Centered.
I was gonna say popularized, but that's not the word. No, like it's popular. Closer to pop.
It is
the genre, and so.
And that's where like you know going like mainstream like Calvin Harris, Avicii, David Guetta, like although they are the most popular, it's more they do it more for pop, which I think is honestly cool. Like they get big names and actually sound super dope. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's weird. Like it's not like what it used to be. But I honestly like both. So I don't mind like some people like don't like the big stream, you know, musicians like doing this, but I think it's actually a good idea.
I think it's like, I think there should be like a little bit of a separation.
Yeah.
Obviously, like most music today has like EDM elements in it.
Yeah.
Because it's so like so computerized.
Yeah.
Like even like a lot of rap. Definitely.
All
like,
rap. Yeah.
Definitely like a bunch of the beats and noises are coming basically from EDM.
It's like when you hear Murder on the Beats or, you know, like Ray
like
Sherman
it's not EDM, but it's influenced.
Like, yeah, I mean, most producers for rap are all they use the big time programs. They don't make any of it by hand. It is all computerized. Like I would be surprised if you were to find, I wouldn't say surprised, but it's very unlikely you find a new rap song with real instrumentals and not computerized.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's like
that's why I like rap so much, I guess.
Yeah. EDM's like how I think it's just having like more and more of an influence over other genres over time. Like when I first started listening to it, like I feel like the only people I knew that were listening to it were other people who played like video games.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Like I feel like a lot of EDM's base for like people who listen to it are gamers.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a study out there, but I'm pretty sure like most of the majority of people who listen to EDM are gamers. But maybe not as much now though. Like I think it's definitely spreading.
Yeah, the people I knew who listened to it did acid and Molly, so
okay, yeah, or people who did drugs.
Yeah, I knew people who did drugs.
I mean, they listen to that and they're like, "Oh, this is actually super good."
Yeah, and that's the number one thing that people listen to is that when they do drugs. I mean, I don't have experience with this, so I couldn't like tell you firsthand. Oh, it sounds super dope, like this, that. But from what my friends tell me, it is a pretty spiritual and eye-opening experience.
How so?
I guess like it makes you feel and see things when you're on it.
Feel the music.
Yeah, like, and I wish we had a guest here. I would have brought my homie on, like, see what he said, but it does make you. It makes you feel euphoric, I guess is the word to use.
It amplifies the high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, should we be talking about any other genres? Do you want to talk about rap or?
I want to talk about. I think rap now. You know, people are like, oh, rap isn't what it used to be. And like,
well, it's not.
It is, yeah. I mean, I was listening to like when Eminem was Slim Shady or listening to Tupac, like 90s, like early 2000s. Rap is so much different than what it is now. Like, honestly, mumble rap is something that's very controversial, which I think most rappers nowadays do participate in the practice of mumble rapping.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, sometimes it gets you hyped, you're just like murmur, 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 like they're just going off like, oh, although it doesn't sound like anything, it's interesting. I'm like, there's a debate like nowadays mumble rap isn't rap, it's trash. But there's like, although old rap is obviously better, it's more technique. You need to like actually write down your lyrics. Nowadays the rapper is like going on the street, murmur, so like I don't mind new rap honestly, because like I said,
think
EDM
it's just
elements.
different, and I think, I mean, I like it.
I think I like it
some
too.
of it.
It gets a lot of hate from the old heads, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Which I don't understand. What's going back to the EDM? It's like there's a Skrillex song, I believe it's called Rock and Roll. At the end of it, it's like, oh, put down I forgot. It's like, pick up a guitar and start playing the music. Real musicians play that, and it's so crazy, like how the older generations don't get new music. And I get it. So
I feel like a lot of people think like it just doesn't take as much talent to like make it on a computer than like actually learn an instrument.
It does, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people don't think that.
Yeah.
Especially since like EDM is newer, and it's like it's becoming a lot more popular lately, and so like a lot of people aren't used to it yet, and they're like, wow, he just did it all on a computer. Wow, anyone can do it then.
Well, if anyone can do it, you do it. That's my always way to tell people, because I try to make music using FL Studios, and it's a lot harder than you think.
I think you have to have...
You need the vision of an artist, like, because you hear this, you're like, oh, I love this, but once you get on like doing the program, you're like, I don't know what direction when I go to. It's harder than it looks. There's so many options too. Once you do it, and like although people are like, it's computer, anyone can do it. That's correct.
Anyone can,
but it's hard.
Yeah.
Anyone can play the guitar. Anyone can play the piano. But it's the same thing with the computer.
It still takes like talent and practice.
Yeah, it doesn't come overnight.
Agree. I don't think anyone can just like make a song.
I mean, that's what you see nowadays,
like an EDM program, and just have it be good.
Well, it's like when you see like nowadays, like people make fun of like SoundCloud rappers or SoundCloud producers. Like, well, it's people like, oh. But I mean, some of them, like, it's hard to get big in this, like, I'm going to say industry. Because
let's talk about this more.
Right.
Like, what do you think it takes to, like, make it in this industry? What do you have to have? I think
luck.
You have to have, I think there's like an element of luck. Yeah.
There's really no other way. Like, I mean.
Really?
I mean. You could, if you have a good, like, if you have a good surrounding, like, cast, like, you have good friends, you have a good following, yeah, you can make it, that's how you get big. But you really ultimately need to get in contact with a big producer, a big name, that's the only way I see it.
A lot of the people that I listened to, like, a long time, like, that got me into EDM, they didn't have, like, a producer making or doing stuff for them. The way they got big was they just made music and put it on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And they
that's how Justin Bieber got big,
and it got huge. And then they like signed contracts, but a lot of because I don't know, I think a lot of EDM artists can actually do that. It's more saturated now. There's so many artists and so many producers nowadays that's harder for your work to get blown up. And honestly, a lot of time people steal your work too. So if you're like a no name, and it's hard, like And I think, honestly, like you said, YouTube, that probably is the best route. A lot of people, like I said, Justin Bieber, I think even Shawn Mendes through Vine, like, a lot of people do get big off social media. Mm-hmm. And that's we live in the social media era. So, like, getting big is not... No, it's hard. It's still hard, but you are more likely to as compared to back in the day. I still do think, like, the same thing. You need to get big to a certain point where a producer or some sort of agency signs you, and that's the way you get big. Would you consider Monster Cat an agency? I'm not familiar with them. Oh, okay. They just take a bunch of like upcoming artists, and then those artists will make music for Monster Cat, and a lot of people know Monster Cat, and so they just listen to what Monster Cat releases, like any albums. How big of a following do they have? I don't know. It's pretty big. Okay. But and so they'll take people's music and be like, all right. Do they own their music? We're going to put it on our album. Yeah. Oh. And get you big. And then that artist gets big, and then they make their own music. I don't know if you consider it, because they just get people big. Yeah. I would consider that one. Although that's, I think that's a sacrifice you have to make. I think at some point, I mean, most people do that. Like, most, like,
producers or low level things make big like their music for big time artists or producers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like
I think there's also like no copyright sounds.
Yeah.
NCS.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just free music, but you get a ton of attention if NCS decides to put your song on their YouTube channel.
Because people go
back.
back.
Alan Walker.
Yeah.
That's how he got big.
Really?
His song Faded or Fade.
Yeah.
Is like I guarantee you've heard it before, at least at some point.
Oh yeah, I have.
Well, I'm talking to like the listeners.
Oh yeah, sorry listeners, if you're listening.
But he put it on NCS and it exploded.
Yeah, because people especially people who make content, click the links because they want to find music similar to that on their videos, and that's how you blow up. Like, oh, look at Alan Walker, like he makes good music, and you share, and you get more publicity when more people use it, I guess. Which that's probably I think about this in another example.
I think there's a lot of ways that you can make it in EDM without just like having to have connections and get signed. Personally.
Yeah, it's harder though. It's way harder.
I mean, still, it's so difficult to get into the industry in the first place. Anyway, regardless of your genre, though.
You know what's crazy? I think an example of this is DJ Khaled's music. I don't think, and someone will have to fact check me. I don't believe he produces any of the beats. I think he's a similar story where he gets people, maybe lower level, up and comers, to produce these beats and these sick things.
And they get popularized by him.
Yeah, because cool. DJ Khaled knows people. Like he'll get Post Malone on, he'll get Jay-Z, Beyonce, and so that's a way to blow up. But it's crazy. Like he doesn't make the music, but he takes credit for the music, and I guess that's a sacrifice you have to make.
Yeah, if you want attention, you want to get known. You're gonna have to sacrifice some stuff.
I would love to bring like someone like a local like whatever SoundCloud producer like artist on, and kind of talk about their experience because. I mean, I think we know a few, right?
Yeah, we could bring Talia on for the Benson diss track.
Oh, yeah. That is still locked up in the vault, guarded in the Pentagon.
It doesn't exist.
It does. It's just top secret, Well, yeah, I would love it because I know with Talia, I've talked about him before on this, and like his like uncle is like in Hollywood or he knows connections. But it's hard. Like, you don't. I honestly. With any type of influencer, social media influencer, I mean, I guess they're not social media. For any type of influencer, you really just need to be consistent. You need to put content out because eventually you just need a big break, essentially.
Yeah.
It really is it comes back to the early point of luck. Like you need lucky. If you make good stuff, I wouldn't be surprised it blows up.
You're increasing your chances.
Yeah, honestly, and I think that's what people get most discouraged about is that people think it's automatically comes overnight, especially with something like even podcasting or EDM or making, being a producer. It doesn't come overnight. It takes a while to build up an audience, to get better on, honestly. You get better and better every time you post. Mm-hmm. You just have to stay consistent with posting and, eventually, you're going to get your big break.
I think one of the biggest factors for like getting your big break or like just producing good music is you have to be like unique.
Yeah, you have to be different from the crowd.
Which might sound obvious, but like look at like some of the biggest artists. They have very unique sounds. Like Post Malone, his voice, he's just gifted. He got lucky.
Yeah,
his voice is incredible. Like who else does the little? I don't even know what to call it. You know what I'm talking about in his songs? I suck at singing. And
Post Malone songs?
Where like he'll hold a note and it'll like waver.
I don't know what he does.
I don't know if it's like electronic.
Well, Post Malone's interesting because he can sing and rap.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what you need to make up now.
But when you're hearing Post Malone.
Yeah.
Or like in
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD
sounds exactly like him.
Post Malone sounds like Juice WRLD.
They both sound very similar to each other. Yes.
Maybe, yeah. I think Juice WRLD has a very unique sound too. Like for those two, their voices are just so unique, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like Odeza, like if you put on an Odeza song, but like you don't know it's Odeza, like there's a sound. You're like, I think this is Odeza.
Yeah, you can tell.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They have to have like that unique sound. They're kind of like brand, I guess.
That is true nowadays. Even
you could do this with like most artists. You could look at it and be like, if you listen to a lot of their music, you're like, oh, they have a sound.
Yeah, they have their own like signature trademark, I guess. Mm-hmm. That is true, and that's hard, like establishing that because Because at one point, in order to get big, you kind of have to follow the trends, you know, to get big. But at the same time, you have to remain unique and something different.
You have to put your twist on it.
Yeah,
you have to give it your own sound.
That's
if you just if you go on SoundCloud and just do what everyone's doing, I don't think you're gonna make it. I don't think you have a chance.
You should. I would say this, like, if you want to get big, you have to follow the big trends. You have to do what everyone else is doing, but put your own twist on it.
Yeah, be
different.
There's so many. Hard. I follow like a bunch of basketball pages on Instagram, and like in the comments, there's always like, "Oh, I'm an upcoming SoundCloud rapper. Come look at my account." And I'll like check them out sometimes. And I'll listen to it. And I'm like, this sounds so basic.
Yeah,
you have nothing unique to your sound, and I'm like, I just don't think they can make it because of that. I don't know.
It goes with I guess this really goes with everything. Like even like if you want to be an athlete, you need to be different than everyone else. You need to somehow do something that puts you above the rest of the competition, which
distinguishes yourself from the whole freaking millions of other people trying to do this.
Honestly, like at the end of the day, I think if you just post your content to everywhere, I mean, you post it to multiple different platforms, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, whatever it may be, you just get your things out there and you kind of promote. I mean, don't be afraid to promote, you know, always promote it, like trying to get your friends to promote it, you know. I think that's how you get big, you know. Eventually you will catch a break, you know, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
it has to be good though.
Just remember, every big time artist, influencer started out in the same position you were, right? Who do you think?
I think there's like a lot of people that definitely like had an advantage with like connections and stuff. But
who would you say?
I can't think of anyone off the
top.
Yeah,
because I think most people,
but I think
start
a lot
off,
of them, or not a lot of them, but definitely like some of them do.
That's true. That is true.
It's true, but like there are a lot of people that like did start off like maybe in a worse spot than you.
Let me say this: most influencers are like just like basic. Most influencers just started posting content. That's how they got big.
Yeah, maybe for music it is a little different.
Music, yeah.
A lot of influencers are just born rich.
Yeah.
But like there's a
Charli
lot of artists that really had to work hard for it.
Yeah.
Like I like G-Eazy's story.
There's a conspiracy. I wonder if Vitaly got into it in one of our episodes, or not one of our conspiracy episodes. There's a conspiracy that in order to get big in Hollywood or in the music industry, you need to like sell your soul.
Define what you're meaning by that.
I'm not sure. I wish I would. Vitaly
like
was
you just have to like become like
either you sell your soul like you're the devil, like literally, like you know you do like. And if you notice. A lot. I'm not saying I believe in this, but a lot of new music videos, like you look at Lil Nas X or you look at Billie Eilish, there are a lot of satanic elements to it, right?
I don't think you have to.
In order to get big, that's the theory. Like you don't have to sell it, but it's the thing. And I remember seeing a thing like people blow up. You're like, wow, people come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Lil Nas X came out of nowhere. Billie Eilish kind of. She blew up out of nowhere. Like a lot of these big time, you know, celebrities kind of come out of nowhere, right? Blow up out of nowhere. And so a lot
of times you like look at them and they like worked for quite a while before they blew up. But yeah.
Yeah, but like why did you know Old Town Road blow up? You know why did all these things like it just doesn't make sense? And
I think it makes sense. I think it's that unique sound. No, and I think you listen to Old Town Road. It's freaking catchy. Like, it's just a good song.
It is a good song.
Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just a good song. I think it's not surprising that it exploded.
But he was not a known artist before that.
All right, yeah. So there is, like, an element of luck, but it has to be something, like, pretty good for it to explode, in my opinion.
It is a conspiracy at the end of the day, but it's something that I've actually like, gotten more and more into. And I think we need to make a second conspiracy episode and put this as one of the main points to talk about because it is interesting and like I don't think you like I've talked about this with Vitaly before. There's like if you notice they even feminize people before they get big. So if you look at Lil Uzi, if you look at Tyler the Creator, you look at even Lil Nas X, they make them dress up as women. And it's a part of the spiritual or the ritual or the kind of thing.
Is it to just get attention?
Yeah, it's part of the thing of selling your soul. Like, and I forgot there's a term for it. And I wish I remembered it because I know if if
they're just doing things to get
if
attention.
if you know about this conspiracy, you know this is a part of it.
Do you think it's just like how it is for everyone? Because it sounds like you're saying like this is just a standard for you to be big.
In order to get big, you need to do stuff to get big.
Yeah,
it doesn't come. I mean, you might be talented,
obviously.
but like I'm not saying you have to get on your knees, but like you need to do something, like to get big. Like, and it's
you just gotta be good.
And even nowadays, I think about this. In order to get big in Hollywood, you need to be sexualized. Like came out recently when Scarlett Johansson said that she was being sexualized in all her movies. But if you notice that before that, she was never big. And so people, in order to get to the top, they need to do some shady stuff, I guess.
I think maybe like it'll give you a better chance, but I don't think it's a requirement.
It's not a requirement, but you won't get big.
I think you can still.
You can? Okay. I wish. Okay. Next episode we're doing
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
He's not like Hollywood. But he's humongous. And he's like the most family-friendly dude.
And he sold a soul.
How so? Explain to me.
Well, how do you think he gets all these big shows, big names, and whatnot?
Because he's good?
Okay, next episode, we're doing Conspiracy Part 2, and I'm bringing Vitaly.
I'm not saying like this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like people definitely do stuff.
No,
sell your soul.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to say that means.
Yeah.
But they do stuff to like give them a better chance, and like it will get attention. But I think it's not a requirement.
Why do you think of all the satanic symbolism and Illuminati things in people's posts and music? What does that mean? People do the eye of the Illuminati. They do 666. They do all these like references. Like, do you not think that has any sort of connection to my point?
No, I think it does. It gets
a
ton of attention.
Oh, so you're saying that they just do it to get attention, that they don't actually...
I don't think there's like... I don't know. Maybe there's like some huge Hollywood underground cult that is just resurrecting the devil from the hell and just bringing him up. No, I think people do that to get attention, or maybe because they're just genuinely interested in it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's something that we could really go into. Next episode, Conspiracy Part 2. We're doing it.
All right.
I'm going to look into this. I'm going to hopefully bring Vitaly on. We're going to talk about this because it's interesting.
I think there definitely are artists though that just got big because they were good, like and maybe they had like a lucky break. All right, here's kind of an out of there example. Enya.
Who?
You don't know who Enya is?
Sounds very familiar.
Okay, you'd know her music if you heard it.
Okay.
It's just like incredibly unique. She has like Celtic elements to her music. Her voice is really good.
Where's she from?
Somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
Like
that would explain the Celtic
Ireland or something.
Okay.
I'm probably botching her background, but she's not like huge on social media or anything. But her music is incredibly popular, and she got huge because it's just good.
Let me tell you this: the reason why I believe
she's the number one artist. She was the number one artist in her genre in Europe.
What's her genre?
I need to look at it again.
Okay, let me tell you this. You look at some of the people who are top in their game. I'm going to give an example. I might get hate for this. Olivia Rodrigo. Her music's really popular right now. Mm-hmm. And when I saw her live, I didn't see her live, but I saw the video of her live. She sounds awful live. So you tell me...
Well, a lot of people sound awful live.
That's true. Auto-tune.
It's electronics. Yeah.
Yeah. But let me just say this. Why do some people... There's definitely people who are so much better than them, than the people at top, and yet they're not big. You know why? It's because they're not willing to sell their souls.
Or maybe they just aren't as good at making music.
No, I guarantee you. They
might sound better, but can they like make the song sound good? Maybe their voice sounds better, but
they're definitely better singers. Like, and
if you're not talking about live, then they still sound good though, and their music is good and catchy. This is like definitely like kind of a heated discussion, huh?
I'm telling you, like, I guarantee you, there's better actors, there's better singers than the ones that are up top. But they don't get big because they're not willing to sell their soul. You said before you have to have like a lucky break. Maybe they just didn't get their lucky break. Maybe they do get a lucky break and then they don't meet. This is the thing, and I wish I could remember. There's some people have quote unquote exposed Hollywood for this. People are like, oh, I got my lucky break. They brought me in. They're like, you need to sell your soul. You need to do this, that. And they're like, I'm not going to do that. Well, like, you know what? Screw you. And they get blacklisted. And that's why they never get big. All right.
Okay, well, maybe that happens. Maybe that happens.
And you do.
I'm not denying it.
Yeah.
But people still get big. They don't have to get big through Hollywood.
And why do you think some... I'm bringing
This is the age of social media. People
why do you think
explode.
Why do you think YouTubers, some flourish after their peak of popularity and some die? Because they're willing to sell their souls. Like Logan Paul, he sold his soul. Now he's making millions in boxing, millions in acting, millions in this, that. Same with Jake Paul. And then why do you think people who are in the same Vine era as them die down? It's just because they're willing, to kind of sell their soul.
Or maybe they just didn't want to keep doing it.
No, why would...
Like, people who died down, maybe they just didn't have the drive to keep doing it, or maybe their content just fell off.
That's your income, though. That's how you make money. Like, why would you want to stop doing that?
I don't know. Because maybe you don't
they
want
still
the
post?
attention.
No.
There's a lot of people who get a lot of attention out of nowhere and then realize they don't want it. They don't want that.
That's true. No one wants the fame. And, like, the thing is, like...
I need you to define what you're saying by sell your soul. Are you saying just become a bad person?
No.
Or just, like, do bad things to get attention? Or, like, things like...
I think you...
Because you're saying, like, Jake Paul, and you're...
I think you literally sell your...
School is horrible. And then that's, like...
No, I think... For me, I literally think you sell your soul to the devil. And to get fame.
You think it's literally like a spiritual like commitment where you're like freaking just cut yourself and then just write in blood on your arm like some ancient letters and your soul leaves you. Really, dude?
And then you go to, because people, I don't know.
I think there would be a lot more evidence of that happening.
There is evidence!
Dude.
I promise you. I know. Right. This is one of the biggest conspiracies out in the world right now.
So are you saying like that's like the only way you can get big though?
Yes. If you want to be Justin Bieber level, you want to be Billie Eilish level, that is what you need. You want to get Beyonce, Jay-Z.
In any category, like not just singing?
Yeah. Even
so
acting.
Did LeBron James sell his soul?
LeBron James is gifted.
There you go. It's just talent.
No, sports are different. You can't just sell your soul and become good.
So you're saying when you sell your soul, you gain talent?
No, when you sell your soul, you get bigger roles. You get bigger opportunities, is what I meant to say.
Maybe LeBron James sold his soul in high school and then boom, oh my gosh.
No, he was a freak of nature. Like he was bred that way.
Yeah, some people are just born gifted at music, dude. I don't understand your logic.
Athletes are different. Although nowadays LeBron sold the soul to become a billionaire.
It's talent. It's just a different type of talent that you have.
I'm not saying... Okay, I need to do more research into this conspiracy. But sports are different because sports, no one can like sell their soul and become good. Although LeBron did sell his... If you look at this, most pro athletes, I think the statistic, I forgot what it was, but I think it's like...
Because LeBron's an actor now, too.
No, like, listen, I'm going to say 90% of pro athletes go bankrupt when they retire, right? A few years. People like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, sold their soul to become billionaires. To become getting these roles. Like, why do you think LeBron's an actor now? Why do you think LeBron got $1 billion contract through Nike?
Because he sold his soul.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Getting it. Are you kidding me?
Now you're getting it.
That is so stupid.
It clicked for you.
No, he didn't have to do anything to get a role in Space Jam.
Yes,
Who's the obvious candidate for it? If Space Jam chose anyone else, they would be making a mistake.
They could have picked Kevin Durant.
Okay, it would not have gotten as many views.
No, they could have picked someone with the...
They couldn't have picked anyone else better. You can't say they could have. It was given to him because
watch in the future, LeBron's going to get more movie opportunities and more music opportunities. And don't say...
Yeah, because he's acted now.
He is one of the biggest parts of the Illuminati.
Dude, I can't believe... do you think there's a chance, though, for a really gifted person to just be good at what they're doing?
I agree with you. There's a chance.
And then just make it big?
Yes, like LeBron's...
But you don't think a single person who's like Hollywood level big is that?
No.
Bro.
It's a difference between, let's say they get a big role. Like, let's say they offer the Titanic. Like, okay, we can offer it to a guy who's really good at acting, or we can offer it to Leo DiCaprio, who we know is on our side. They offer Leo DiCaprio.
Okay, so Marshmello. He's like one of the biggest EDM artists in the world now. Probably the most well-known.
One of, yes.
Like top 3 at least,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
So he's at that level, right?
Yes.
So
He's
you
an elite.
think he
He's an
sold
elite.
his soul?
Yes.
Have you heard his story?
No, I've not heard his story.
Have you listened to his music? Like, you've listened to his music. You know what kind of person he is?
Upbeat, like family friendly.
I mean, he's not like just this upbeat, outgoing guy. He's pretty introverted. That's why he wears the marshmallow. But
because of the satanic things they did to his face, they had to cover it up.
God, dude, you're just finding any way to like try and support your point. But there's like no
I'm not okay.
way that you can think that every person. I just cannot. I find it so hard to believe that you can't just think that people can have talent to make it big.
They do. I think. Okay, there's stages. You want to be big, you can be big. If you want to be at the stardom level, you need to do stuff to get to stardom level. I mean, it doesn't necessarily. Okay, I'll go with your point. You don't necessarily have to sell your soul, but you need to do some stuff to get big. Like
Obviously.
you need to, you might have to have to sleep around. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying.
I hear what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of huge people that seem like they might be like a little sketch.
Why do you think
definitely done some like?
Why
stuff.
do you think people? Harvey Weinstein is a perfect example. Recently, he got exposed, right? But he was one of the elites. He was the reason why people got big. That's why a lot of celebrity. If you notice this, he went to prison, right? But a lot of the mainstream celebrities were not willing to expose him. You know why? Because he's the reason why they got big, and they don't want that opportunity to go away.
Do you think Jim from The Office is on that level?
Yeah, he's not. No, he's not an A-list celebrity.
I mean, he's pretty freaking
he's borderline
popular, and
A-list.
He's making his own movies now.
He's not to the level of Steve Carell.
I'm thinking of people that like. Okay,
he is. Yes.
I'm just trying to think of these huge people that I look at them and I'm like, they're genuinely good people who just have really good talent to get to where they are. And they've had some lucky breaks. It's awesome that Jim got casted. I'm forgetting his real name. John Krasinski,
yeah.
It's great that he got casted for The Office and that's what made him huge. But it was talent that got him there. There was some luck, maybe, but if he wasn't talented, he would not have gotten there.
You didn't even be talented, but I'm saying for him, the role, he could have been a Toby versus a Jim. In order to become a Jim, he had to do more stuff, and so he didn't remain as a Toby in The Office.
I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying he sold his soul to get the role for Jim?
A bigger role.
He sold his soul to get the role of Jim?
Yes.
Dude.
And let me say this.
You have no proof at all
I do have proof. I do. Because there was bigger names auditioning for the role of Jim.
But they saw that he was talented and perfect for the role.
He sold his soul.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Okay.
What's the name of the director? He plays the one dude in The Office.
Director.
He's
Toby?
No, it's
Michael Scott.
It's Michael. It's the guy that Michael Scott really likes, the young kid, the intern.
Oh, Ryan.
Ryan. He was the director of The Office. You know that, right?
He's a producer.
Okay, producer. My bad. But
so is Steve Carell.
I've listened. I've heard things about Jim getting hired, and they talk about how they just saw him and he was perfect for that role.
Yes, he's perfect for selling his soul. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm not kidding. Okay. Okay. No, you do.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
You do need to be talented to some extent.
Obviously,
but in order to get to the top roles, in order to be the Beyonce, Jay-Z of music, in order to be the Leonardo DiCaprio, the Robert Downeys of the music or the movie industry, you need to do some stuff. Maybe not literally selling your soul. But you need to do some stuff that, You
were saying earlier that they literally sell their soul.
I think so, but I'm still going with your point. Maybe you do some stuff like, quote unquote, selling yourself, like befriending people, going to the top, kind of going like screwing over people. That would be maybe selling your soul, like kind of effing people over. Maybe they need to do that. Maybe sleep around in Hollywood. That's a really big thing in Hollywood.
This is literally just making moves to get to where you are trying to
And some
go.
people consider that selling their soul. You know, they're kind of like they're
That's
going.
what I was asking you to define this whole time.
I literally think you're actually literally selling your soul, but I'm saying the other point which is what you think.
Yeah, they're just doing what they need to do to get
And
big.
let me say this. Actually, that point makes sense because in order to get big, whether it's if you want to become a billionaire like Jeff Bezos or you want to become a big time like actor like Robert Downey Jr., you got to screw people over. You don't become that successful by following
If you define screwing people over as just doing everything you can to get the role that you want or like get to the position you want, I mean, there's some examples where people obviously like huge like CEOs of companies definitely like do some shady stuff.
They do. You don't get big without doing shady stuff.
I'm agreeing.
You screw over your employees.
I'm agreeing with you right now.
Okay, go. It's not sound like you are. Okay.
I'm saying what I think.
Yes.
I think that happens.
Okay.
That definitely happens.
Okay.
But not everyone does that to get huge. They're not like just screwing people over like a lot of these CEOs do, where they're like blackmailing people and stuff with their lives.
Yeah. Well,
I think there's a lot of actors that got to where they are because they worked really hard to get the roles that they wanted, and then they got more attention, and over time they just got big.
Yes, I don't know. Like it comes down to what you believe. Okay. For some people, yes. For some people, they take the easy route, and
the easy route of blackmailing and
selling their soul. Yes.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say the easy route was not selling your soul.
No, I want our next episode. I want to bring back Vitaly Part 2, and we are gonna talk about this. He'll be sitting right here, and it makes sense because when he explains it, it makes sense. He has evidence,
dude.
He has factual findings to back up the point.
Are you sure you want to say that?
Yes.
Factual findings.
Yes.
That he can prove that every person has sold their soul.
Every big name.
There's a lot of them, though.
There's a difference why Joe Rogan has $100 million Spotify deal and why Dave Chappelle doesn't.
I'm not arguing with you that there are some people that do some stuff that is definitely like probably not ethically good.
Yeah, ethically.
To get to where they are.
But you don't think literally.
But I don't think every person. Some people are just talented and work hard.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think? It's like that's the American dream, right? Like working hard.
Well, okay. This is actually
can get you where you want.
I believe that in order to become successful, like filthy rich, like people, everyone wants to be the next Elon Musk, right? Everyone wants to be the next Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, etc. In order to become that level, you can't do it ethically. You can't do it, the normal route. You need to screw over your employees. You need to screw over your business partners. You need blackmail, which is messed up.
I think it's a lot more common in like business.
Yes.
Like what you're talking about.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the American. For me,
I'm
the American dream
about,
is
like,
that
acting and singing.
Acting, you just have to sleep your way to the top. And sell your soul.
I just think there's some like people can make it because they were hard workers and talented. And
yes,
some
people can.
I'm pretty sure like most big actors and singers will tell you that too. Like a lot of them worked really hard to get to where they got, and they put so many hours and just never gave up on it.
Okay, I can see that.
I think a lot of them would actually like take offense to hearing that I just performed a ritual to get to where I am.
Yes.
I didn't put in all this effort and talent.
I just went and slept with Harvey Weinstein.
This secret-looking dude from Hollywood came up to me and was like, dude, here's some powder you can do some ritual stuff with, and you'll be big. And if you don't, we'll kill you, or make sure you never do.
Never get big. Let's put a bookmark in this. This is for a few. We probably got really off topic. We'll put a bookmark in this, and we'll come back.
Yeah, it was a little off topic, but it was fun to talk about.
Because next time I will bring my scholarly sources, my peer reviewed sources, my evidence, and I will.
I really like Vitaly. All right.
Okay.
But I just feel like, especially given from what I've heard from him before in my life, it's just hard to believe his sources are accurate.
You know what's crazy is that he last time sounded pretty logical, though. That's compared to before.
Yeah, and kind of funnily enough, he was saying that he might not believe in the Earth being flat.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe this time around we bring him around. Maybe he listens to your point.
Maybe.
I don't know. All I gotta say is look into the conspiracy.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand like the basis for this conspiracy, and I can understand like people saying like a lot of evidence. Like there's a lot of corruption and bad things that go on, and with people that are huge like that.
Yeah.
So I understand why people can see that and see it as like a conspiracy theory, but I just don't think that that's the only route.
Now I'm actually thinking about it logically, because I was kind of going off just to prove a point. I do think, you do need to like actually put in the work. You actually do need to like, whether posting content, whether it's trying out for new roles, like you need to somehow get your name out there. And you need to be talented to some extent. Although I do think that in order to get to the big roles, maybe you have to do some shady stuff.
You've heard Jim Carrey's story? I mean, obviously, a lot of people like think Jim Carrey isn't the greatest guy in the world, obviously. But like, what he had to do to be successful and where he came from is just
what did he do?
It's just a story of like hard work and talent, incredibly hard work. He had like zero money. I think he was living on the streets, and he would just sign up for roles and just act his heart out. And he was different. Like you've seen Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Like the way he acts, he's not embarrassed at all. Like his facial expressions, his acting, he just worked really, really hard at it, and eventually he got that big role that made him famous. And so like. Stories like his, there's so many stories like his of people just working really, really hard and coming from a lot of times like nothing, especially in like the acting industry, I feel like. But they work really hard to get
with anything. You need to work hard, I think.
And Jim Carrey has that factor I was talking about earlier, that like uniqueness, that sound. It's in acting, but he was just so different from everyone, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't doing just like what everyone else was doing. So
that's true. Okay, I get your point. We'll come back. We'll revisit this in a future episode.
All right, dude. We've already talked for an hour.
Yeah. We got off topic. Music. I would like to do another story time about our experiences at a concert. I had a pretty cool story time about our concerts.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I got that in that episode, but in this episode, but we'll get it in a future episode.
For sure.
So yeah, long story short, music makes you feel spiritual.
Long story short, the devil is real. And he's the only way to be successful.
Yes. No. Maybe so. I don't know. We'll leave that. We'll put a bookmark on that.
All right.
GG's Cuckoo Podcast. GG's. Stay horny.
Stay horny.
Stay horny.
Stay horny.
Stay horny.